Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 435 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, and today it's our last day in studio for FRL because... Forever.
We're getting kicked out?
They're condemning this studio.
Yikes. They got foreclosed upon.
There's some situations with Spay and Nomad, and that, they had to... It was condemned, basically.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so...
I didn't know that either.
No, it's our last day this week here, per se, because myself, the Wrestling Nomad, and Andrew Spencer Spay, among others, will be making our way to Las Vegas for CKLV. However, help is on the way. Talked with our super producer, Kyle, and he's going to help make it so we can have some sort of a bootleg FRL on the ground in the arena. And we'll do it that sometime. It'll be the afternoon for you. So stay tuned on the exact time there. But we will do that. So cool. At the top, before getting into intros and all that, want to make a mention. Coach Brands announced yesterday that Brandon Sorenson, four-time All-American for the Iowa Hawkeyes, was diagnosed with leukemia basically last weekend. And so, obviously, if you don't know much about Brandon, he was a stud wrestler. He's from Iowa, went to Iowa, four-time All-American, NCAA finalist. Just a really solid dude, really great 49-pounder for them, a real staple of their lineup. And obviously, it's a young guy with a really serious disease. There's a GoFundMe that we have tweeted and we put up on the site, and Nomad will put it in the show notes today for you to give to. As of this morning, and it just went up yesterday, it's already at $56,000, which is great, a great start. And I know that we're going to continue to pump that as much as we can, and hope to get that number even higher. It's at $59,000, just like that. You guys continue to give, which is amazing. And one thing, reading the description in the GoFundMe, it says he will lose his health insurance in 9 months. So I don't know why that's happening or what that's about, but man, cancer treatment is crazy expensive. So he's gonna need the financial support, and the wrestling community comes together awesome. Here already $60,000 raised, and I'm sure they had a $30,000 goal, and they've already doubled that in less than 24 hours. So awesome job, and please give and keep Brandon and the Sorenson family in your thoughts and prayers throughout this process.
The only time I've really gotten to speak to Brandon is a handful of interviews after Midlands and Akron. So I cannot speak to know him well, but the reaction from the community, I think, speaks volumes. And although this is a terrible thing, it once again shows that the wrestling community is capable of compassion and the ability to rally together. And the message that I tried to convey last night when we were trying to decide what to do was we need to rally behind Brandon Sorenson and anyone else in the wrestling community when times get hard. So I certainly appreciate you guys doing this, and I hope that the Hawkeye community feels the appreciation as well and are able to get Brandon through this.
It's pinned. The GoFundMe is pinned to our Twitter right now too, if you want to find it easily.
Very good. It's cool to get on here and read who's given here. Yeah. You got Kyvan Gadsden and Chris Ayers and Bryce Meredith and Evan Wick and George Deacon. It's all over. People with no affiliation with Iowa or Sorenson. Just and you can go and scroll, and it's all these names. Mark Perry, you read. It's just really cool. So go ahead, give a little something. I remember with Richard Perry, he raised six figures, and the average donation was something like $5 to $10. So it's just everyone chipping in a little bit. It adds up quickly because the wrestling community is small and tight, but there's actually a lot more of us than you realize. So, okay, tough start, but you know what? Needs said, needs discussed. So, to my left is Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. Stephen Kyle Brackey, back-to-back show appearances.
Wow. Can I be stopped?
Can you be stopped? Well, Nomad tried to stop you. He did not share you on the FRL document.
It's been a while.
I think he wants me off the show.
And on Tuesday when I made the document, CP just didn't override and made another one.
He's really good at that.
So, yeah.
That's kind of my calling card.
Yeah.
Just double documents. And straight away, ranker extraordinaire, Andrew Spencer Spey. Yes, that is his government name. That is his actual name. He told me this.
I can show you ID, total proof. I can't show it on camera now, but yeah.
That
come up to me later. Ask for my driver's license.
Yep.
My papers.
No braid today, but we have a good problem now where we have a rotating cast of characters that we can use for FRL.
You don't even know what's coming next either.
That's a tease.
Another tease.
Classic tease. Okay. So it's CKLV week, and we didn't hardly get to talk about it yesterday because of all the Iowa pandemonium. So we got to get into it. We got to get into it right now. I say we just start at the weights and then work our way through them. Does that make the most sense? It makes the most sense to me.
Absolutely.
And it starts, I know you're going to say, well, this doesn't really start with all the heat in the world. I'm not super. Well, 25 and 33 are not the best weights of this tournament, but it gets insane. So we'll go 25 real quick. Jack Mueller's will be the top seed. Then we've got Alex Mackel, Devin Schroeder, Jacob Camacho, Schwarm, Jake Colzer, Cole Verner, Joey Prada. As our current guess is now, pre-seeds may drop today, which will be great, but they're not out just yet. So we'll stay tuned for those.
It's funny that we're saying a bracket with 7 top 19 guys isn't the best.
It's like an afterthought, yeah.
Right.
I know.
That's how good this tournament is.
It's insane. And it's inarguably the toughest non-NCAA tournament in the country and has been the last few years.
Yeah.
It's in some ways measurably tougher than the Big Ten in terms of ranked wrestlers. It doesn't have as many high-end, the number ones, but in terms of ranked wrestlers, there's no comparison to Cliff Keen Las Vegas. So for me, it's Mueller next topic in terms of who's going to win, but as far as the team race goes, there's going to be a lot of teams in the mix here. You have to figure, I think Nebraska and Arizona State are probably the favorites on paper here, but Iowa State's going to be in the mix. I think Purdue could make a run. NC State's going to be good. UNI is going to be in there. It's going to be Virginia Tech.
Buckeyes.
And, of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
They like to win Vegas
They
a lot.
love to win Cliff Keen Las Vegas. One of the things they are known to do. Now, so I say that to say, man, how Devin Schroeder can do, if he can make a final for them, if someone like Jacob Schwarm or Camacho can have a deep run, those big team points are just as important as scoring those team points at 184, where we have all top 5 and 8 of the top 10 entered. Any breakout guys? I think Camacho for me is the one I'm most excited to watch, but curious for your guys' thoughts.
I want to see more of Joey Prada. So I did the lightweight preview, and I think the tech lightweights can really cause some havoc in this bracket and potentially cause some havoc in the rankings. So I'm really looking forward to Joey Prada. And then just as far as who's going to make the finals, anyone who's on that bottom side opposite of Mueller, as far as I'm concerned, has somewhat of a chance. There's so many conflicting results between all these guys. I ended up going with Schroeder just because, he's got a lot of matches on the year. So I think any
that too.
Any rust or anything from the offseason, like he's now built into what he's going to be this year. So I'm going with Schroeder, but like I said, there's a lot of conflicting results here.
He's put up some points too. He tech followed Heinzelman. He majored Brandon Courtney. He split with Kolioko. He's been really solid this year.
And then you have, as far as like inconsistency, this is a great time for guys to show they can be consistent, right? Alex Thompson has been lights out on his feet. He's taking guys down left and right, but he's had some issues on bottom. If he can address those here, then I would not be surprised for him to make a deep run and get a top 4 finish.
I think it's hard. I think it'll be hard for when you're that. I don't want to say he's one dimensional, but that's the way you win. It's hard to make a deep tournament run like that.
I'm really interested to see Pat McKee.
Yeah,
he had just coming off a 3-2 loss to Pitch. He does have kind of like I think it was like 9-3. Yeah, 9-3 to loss to Jonathan Trapea of Ryder.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's been really consistent with a win over Alex Thompson. So excited to see Pat McKee. You also never know what he's going to do. I know we were watching McKee brother matches yesterday,
That's a fun thing to do.
and they have really kind of mastered hitting head pinches and folk style straight into assassins.
Yes.
So that's fun.
it almost makes me wonder. It's like, why don't you just do that? You could do that in freestyle too.
Yeah.
You just pin them.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was watching, because y'all posted that Ryder clip for Mitch, they weren't counting danger there for a really long time, it seemed like.
Yeah.
He had the guy on his back forever past 90, but I think it's such a weird.
And it's something you don't really see
Yeah.
in folk style. But look, 125 at Vegas is frequently very strange. The first one that I went to, the year it was just me and you, and we stayed in that very weird hotel.
Yes, we did.
It
had we walked in, it had all these like weird lights, and it had 2 cowboy hats, like complimentary for us.
Very
I
strange.
can't believe CP picked a weird hotel to stay in.
It wasn't, no.
I'm honestly shocked.
It was weird, but I would not say it was not nice.
Oh, it wasn't bad at all.
wasn't bad.
It was
Okay.
a very nice hotel.
Yeah.
But that year,
Weird and nice. That's a good combo.
a semifinal was Trey Andrews versus Jose Rodriguez.
That
so
happens.
this is just 125 is frequently very weird, very hard to predict at CKLV, even as Bracky mentioned with 7 of the top 19
What was
guys.
going on that week that was just you and I? Could have used a little help.
Willie and I were in Stillwater for something I remember.
Stilly Vanilli. I don't know. Spay, were you with us at this point? This was right
no,
before.
that was that was pre. So that I came on that NCAA's 2017, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I
Well,
was following along at home.
we're going to retroactively look at the travel planning document and see
Figure out
how
what-
that fell through the cracks. It was just Nomad and I, because...
Yeah, it's just CKLV. We only need 2 guys.
Yeah, jeez.
That is really silly.
We did kind of crush it, though, so maybe that's why.
FYI.
All right. So, 133. Oh, wait. Are we done with 125? I kind of just said it.
Yeah, I'm
Don't want to
fine
be
with
presumptuous. Mueller over... I'll say Schroeder.
Bracky.
Yeah, Mueller. I'll say Camacho if they're on opposite sides. Which
Okay. Doesn't seem like
they
they
might
will
not
be.
be. Yeah.
Seems like that will be.
But
a
you know
semi.
what? It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yep.
You'll split them up. You
Yeah.
will rig the seating
Yep.
meeting.
I'll do it.
You should just wear your Ohio polo or a quarter zip.
Yeah.
Just sleep in there. They won't put it together that Ohio's not actually at this
Right.
tournament, and you can just make all these cases and then through your Jedi mind tricks,
There you go.
get them on the 2 or 3
I have
side.
enough team issued gear for teams that will be there.
Yeah.
Maybe I could just sneak in as their representative.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sneak in. You and Jaggers just sneak in
Yeah.
with a little Ohio State gear, a little Michigan gear. Who knows? All right. There are a lot of really good guys at this weight class. It's just when Mueller is just head and shoulders above everyone, it does kind of kill some of the combo.
And we've only seen him once this year, so that's another thing. And he's not on Flow a lot, so it's really our main opportunity to get a real good look at him. Although he will be at Midlands also.
Nice.
So
Montori Bridges at 33 here will likely be your top seed over Chaz Tucker, although that could be a source of debate among the rankings. This is our rankings debate. Maybe we can talk about that later. Then the ascending Josh Kramer, Anthony Madrigal, Cam Sikora, Chance Rich, Colin Girardi, and not Quinn Kinner because he is not coming to Vegas. And this is another one where, you want to say Montori and Chaz probably pretty easily make it, but Montori had a rough Vegas 2 years
2
ago,
years
I want
ago,
to say. Where it was like, because he was All-American as a freshman, and then he had just kind of a rough start to his season overall.
well, in 2017 he lost to Pletcher and DeSanto.
Okay, must have been last year then.
Well, last year he placed 6th.
He 100% had a bad Vegas at some
Well,
point.
I don't think he placed that year that he lost to Pletcher DeSanto.
Right,
So
because he lost to
I know, yeah, not
2
bad,
guys who are currently ranked number 1 at their weights.
Yeah, it wasn't bad losses, but
on.
he was I believe a returning All-American that didn't place at Vegas.
That was his freshman year.
Okay.
He hadn't placed yet,
He lost to Gonza and Ernesty,
so that would have been last year.
Okay, so it was last year.
Yeah.
I guess. Allegedly. Pletcher DeSanto.
Anywho,
Anyways, keep it moving. I like Montori. I just think he's got a little more offense than Chaz. Although I think Chaz is a really tough matchup for him, just how hard he is to get to.
well, and then we have Taylor Lamont coming back.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. He's not in there.
Well,
He's not in
because
my
at the
all-around.
time he wasn't ranked.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Although
I think Taylor
has not looked great.
No.
I know that's making the weight again for the first time and getting back into the swing
But
of things.
33 should be. He's a 25 in many ways.
And then, okay, this blew my mind when I was doing the preview. Cam Sakura has 40 career techs.
He's amazing on top.
Yeah.
He's like the best.
I knew
top
he was
wrestler
very
at
good
this-
on top.
Yeah.
40 techs is statistically phenomenal.
Yeah. It's like Shoop levels.
Yeah.
He might be this year's Shoop. Yeah, so he could just go on a tear. That'd be cool if someone like that just went on a tear and like won Vegas. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's definitely someone you do not want on your side for sure.
And then there's a whole bunch of, I mean, some of these guys we saw at Journeyman, right? And that's how Kramer kind of got his ranking and Madrigal right below him. Chance Rich kind of had a big win, but then, a couple losses. So there's a lot of variation here, kind of similar to 125, except instead of one guy kind of being at the top, I think the Tucker Bridges, Sakura, Lamont is going to be your top 4 in some order, and then just a lot of guys picking each other off. I mean, Louis Hayes is 25.
I know.
That guy could go on a run.
There's a lot of dudes at this weight class. Yeah, I'm most excited to watch Sakura. Anytime you have someone that good from the top position. And also, admittedly, there's the Ethan Lezak shaped hole in my heart right now. There's no Lezak. There's no, that guy just brought an element of what is going to happen to every single match that I really appreciated.
I am very upset about Kinner not being in. He was originally registered, then they switched him out for Kuntz. I picked him to do really well because I saw the talent in high school.
And he treats you like this.
Yeah. So, but it's on Kuntz.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's an injury.
I should say Dylan Kuntz. There are two.
There are two, but they both wrestle in the corner. That is what they say.
Brady's taking an Olympic red shirt, right?
Yes, correct.
So
has to be Dylan.
Okay. 33 thoughts, Stephen Kalbracki.
I like Montori Bridges here. Although Sakura, you never know what you're gonna get with the top game. But also watch out for Colin Girardi. I really like him. I think he has a chance to kind of be a bracket buster type guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's looked good so far for Virginia Tech. I like him. He almost
beat Kinner.
He beat Kinner. It was a close match for the most part, and then it kind of unraveled badly. But yeah, Kinner's good, and he beat him by a wide margin.
One who I did not realize
This might be the most wide open weight.
Oh, 100%. One guy who I didn't realize was, and he's not ranked, but I guess has now taken over the starting spot, is Travis Ford Melton for Purdue. I mean, that's a guy who was in Super 32 finals and maybe I believe Fargo finals. So that's, I don't know about winning, but that's certainly a wild card.
Purdue's is going for it this year, and I love it.
Yeah,
they're going to be good. They're like solid at every single weight because they go Schroeder, Ford Melton. What's their 41's name? He's good.
41's Phileas.
Parker Phileas. Griffin Perriott, Kendall Coleman.
Sondland's really solid. Leidy, Max Line, Christian Bruner, and Tommy Pinola.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good team. And at the tournament like this where there's no Iowa, no Penn State, the team race is going to be really interesting. I really feel that, and Purdue could be a big factor. All right, 141. Let's get to it. All right, buckle up. Roll up your sleeves. Luke Pletcher, Dom Demas, Mitch McKee, Chad Redd, Tariq Wilson, Ian Parker, Mitch Moore, Chris Sandoval. You can almost hear my voice when it is getting spicy. So this one, I think this is probably how it's going to be seated, at least the top 5 or 6, right? Where you go Pletcher, Demas, opposite, and then so we're looking at a potential Demas, McKee semi.
Which...
That's wild.
If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know.
But you know what? We said that about the Ironman Demas thing, and it was one of the worst matches at NCAAs last year. So you never know.
Demas has that. I feel like it's either awesome or it's not very.
Or he's like I'm going to be positional guy this match and
yeah.
be really hard to score on. Or sometimes it's like I'm going to be sprinting around and doing crazy things that like literally jar you.
We also have what appears to be a Tariq Wilson Chad Redd quarterfinal on tap.
Oh my. Yes, that does appear to be on tap.
which is
well as the
unstoppable
Ian
force meat, immovable object.
It is that. Although I feel like with Tariq versus Chad, and they've never hit because this is Tariq's first year.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I feel like it could be like total domination for Tariq, or Chad could be so good at just dive rolling under and countering, he'll just win. But Tariq will get to his legs, and then the match will start.
It was like that Kane Store match last year. It was 2-1, but it was.
Oh my gosh.
It was
If
very entertaining.
if Chad were able to get by Tariq, we would then have Luke Pletcher Chad Red semi rematch of that insane Who's Number One match
Oh my
The
gosh.
Who's Number One match?
with some of the best scrambling
That
I've ever
was
seen.
amazing.
The FloNats final
Yeah.
where Chad broke Pletcher's back.
Yeah, he pinned him. That was
And then I think they met in
kinda-
FloNats the year before, too. And Pletcher won that one.
Well, he like passed. He locked up a cradle
I think
so
he choked
tight.
him
He
out,
like
yeah.
choked
Or
out.
that's what it was. He choked him out, yeah.
Yeah, they've had some crazy matches. I mean, yeah, that's some. Pletcher's he's so underrated in so many things. He's an amazing scrambler. He can do. He's very savvy in a lot of different positions.
he beat Yanni that Who's Number One bracket.
Yeah.
That is correct.
to get to Chad Red.
That is
who
correct.
beat Taylor Lamont.
That was the sickest. I think that's my favorite group of four ever.
The group 4 did good this year.
No, it was good.
Chad Red, okay, so this really stood out. A couple things stood out for me about Chad Red. First of all, this year I think is a better start for him than we've seen before.
Yes.
Obviously, the pin for Demas is not great for him, but otherwise he's looked very good. Chad Red's top game, extremely underrated. Listen to this.
I read that on Twitter.
And I'll tell you why. Last year in the postseason, all his wins at Big Tens and all his wins at NCAAs, he either picked up a riding time point or got a pin.
Yeah.
What a great
then-
Nomad nugget.
Yeah. And then this year you saw, the top work against Blockus, the top work against Zolman, the top work against JoJo Aragona. Chad Red is, we know about the mixer and we know about the cradle, or, from neutral, and how difficult he is to score on, but he's tremendously good on top.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got most of the tools. If he had a super consistent leg attack, I think he'd be on the short list of champions for this weight
And last
at
year,
the NCAA level.
I think last year this tournament was a bit of a turning point for him. We saw him and Maple afterwards kind of having a discussion, and I think after that, now obviously he still had some losses throughout the year, but he kind of turned a corner in terms of whether it was weight, motivation, whatever he was going through that was hindering his results a little bit. He kind of turned a corner.
Yeah, it's why like results and you can't ever take one turn more. He was the guy going into Big Tens. We're like, watch out, this guy. Look how the bracket they have. Mikey Carr as the top seed away from McKinnon Lee. This dude could go on a run out of like the 8 or whatever he was seeded at Big Tens, and he made the finals. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, he's super tough. We have to pick someone to win this weight class. I kind of want to shoot my shot with Tariq.
Go ahead.
Do it.
Consider my shot shooted.
Nomad.
So, despite what CP says, look, okay,
'Cause
I'll just make it
'cause-
official.
'cause
I'll just
here's
make it
why.
official. So there's no
Your
doubt
Pletcher next
right
topic.
now. Not next topic, but right now, Luke Pletcher is my pick to win 141 pounds both at the Cliff King Las Vegas and at the NCAAs. So we're all clear.
Wow.
I watched the Demas match again, and although it was only 2-1 tiebreaker, Pletcher was in deep a bunch of times. Matt returned to him several times in the tiebreaker, and Demas never really looked to be able to threaten him. McKee, we talked about the freestyle tricks. Everything is, like Brecky was saying, chest lock, assassin. He was doing, what was the one we were watching yesterday? The butcher to the pancake, right? That was awesome.
Butchers and pancakes don't often go together.
They do not.
Typically a meat situation with
Yeah.
the butchers.
Unless you get the bacon involved.
Baker to pancake.
And then I think right now Pletcher is a little bit better than Red, but it's hard to forget their high school matches. And then Tariq, I don't know. I'm not sold on him at 141 just yet.
Oh, excuse
but,
me.
So
Did you see him at Raleigh?
Go ahead. You can pick him.
He was enormous. I was like,
he
how does
wasn't.
he make 33?
I'm not talking about the weight. I'm talking about can he get through these top guys.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, my thing is I just want to. I want my Tuesday headline to match something I actually predicted for
there you
once. And the number one, Tariq Wilson. Could happen. I mean, I think everyone wrestling at their best, absolutely. Now, his path is bad, right? He's going to have to beat Chad Red, then Luke, then the winner of Demas McKee in all likelihood. That doesn't sound super fun. But you know what?
Yeah, it's like Makai's road
Vegas.
At Bill Farrell, where he would have had to have beaten Chenzo, Nolf, and Aymar in that order.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he ended
Exactly
up
what
losing
it
Chenzo.
is.
It's identical. This is Bill Farrell all over again.
I'm gonna take Luke Pletcher too. He's just been so good this year and pretty dang consistent. Although the Boffman match got a little dicey at the end. And speaking of Boffman, potential wild card guy that could have a nice tournament, 9-2 on the year so far.
Once beat Nick Piccinini.
Yeah.
He did.
Also want to mention, so Parker split with Demas last year, and is obviously just a tough guy. We've only seen him twice this year, though, so not a lot of data for this year. And then Mitch Moore, both the Moore brothers are like this, but Mitch Moore, over half of his college wins so far are pins.
He's kind of the pin guy.
That's what he does.
He gets the cow catcher.
Yeah.
And it's problematic.
He's
so
a
again,
home run
lightweights,
Yes.
reiterating it, Prada, Girardi, Mitch Moore, no idea how they're going to do, but I just assume one or more of them are just going to completely screw up a bracket somewhere here.
I hope so. All right, so I'm taking Tariq. The confidence level, not high, but my confidence level wouldn't be super high with really anyone.
Right.
Just because this weight is so good, not because I don't think any of these guys are that great. I mean, if Mitch McKee won, I wouldn't be that surprised. If Chad Red did it, not. I mean, really, any of the top 6 win it, 5. I really don't think Parker can navigate the full field. I think he can pick one off. I don't see him. But the top 5, I see them all as legit title contenders here and at the NCAA level. I think that highly of them all. All right, any other thoughts on 149 pounds?
141.
Yes.
We're getting ready to move to 149.
Right. I've been basically on crack cocaine or something the last couple days. I don't know what's wrong with me. My brain is terrible. 149 now. The top seed will probably likely have to be Colin Purinton of Nebraska. Kyle Brackey's coming to terms with that still. I don't know what stage you're at
Like,
right
I
now.
know we did some joking around yesterday before the show about what I did and did not know while out on paternity leave. I learned like 10 minutes before the show that Colin Purinton was ranked number 4 in the country and was going to be the top seed here.
That's happening, and we just have to.
I knew he beat Max Thompson, but I guess I just didn't realize how
the
highly Thompson
ramifications.
was ranked. Right.
Yeah, Thompson beating Deggan this year
Right.
set the table for everything.
What a time to be alive.
Exactly right. And you want to talk dark horses? Well, let me give you the list. Colin Purinton, Max Thompson, Jarrett Deggan, Griffin Perriott, Brock Zackrell, Sammy Sasso, Brayton Lee, Yaya Thomas, Brent Moore, Russell Rolfing, Josh Maruka, Henry, Hank Pohlmeyer. Now,
Do not bet on this weight. Just stay away from it.
or not
Bet
that
your
there
life
is
savings.
bet your life savings on. No, I wouldn't bet your life savings on anyone. But if you take a flyer at Yaya Thomas at like
Sure.
plus 2,000 or whatever he would be. I don't know. I think that's a really good guy. And
I don't think Vegas would mess up that way. Sorry to interrupt there, but I mean, you're not going to get great odds on anybody in this weight class. That's why I would stay away. You're not going to get plus 200 on Yaya Thomas.
You don't know Vegas.
Brayton leads everybody on there, from Yaya up, even Brent.
Well, there's no way to even bet this anyways. So this is a totally fake conversation. But we love fake conversations here at Flow Wrestling Radio Live. So to me, I don't know. I mean, how you see this thing is really going to determine it. I think my pick is still going to be Sammy Sasso, even though I feel like 3 straight matches, I have concerns. I have concerns with a really, really, really close match with Recruiter Vandermeer. I have concerns when you get pinned by Brent Moore. And he got super, super tie against Hunter Richard. And his tank was something we were talking about coming into this year. Can a guy with a suspect gas tank do the thing, right? And he comes to Michigan State Open, he just destroys everyone, and then I don't know, he's still but a freshman, right? But I still think skill for skill he has the most, and I'm sticking with him.
It is weird to see him have those gas tank issues after not having them earlier in the season. But still probably think he's the best wrestler, and we don't think Alirez is wrestling, correct?
I don't think he is. I think he hurt himself.
Okay. Because if
Dang.
he was wrestling, I would pick him to do very well. Just wanted to confirm.
Okay.
Who do you have Sasso beating in the finals?
So he'll have to theoretically. Oh my gosh, him versus Deggan could be a quarter. That is going to be an absolute mess.
Yeah.
They're going to need 4 to 5 officials there. There are going to be simultaneous danger calls. There's going to be, I think, near fall swipes for both happening at the same time.
Well, Sasso will live on his legs, and then that's when the match will start.
Then it's really going to get spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Deggan wants to live.
You ever seen a ref go like this?
Thing is,
Double
Deggan
count.
doesn't get tired either.
No.
So that's a crazy, crazy quarter. So you'd have to go Deggan, Thompson.
It's not an easy path.
No, it's not. But it isn't really for anyone, right? Puritan's probably going to have Yaya in a quarter, and then the winner of Perriott Zach Earl, which is a rematch, potentially. And these are all fake. These are just like what we think the seeds will be. We'll have a better idea.
Yeah, this one has got to be the hardest to project the seeds for.
Yeah, because you got some really good freshmen. You got some guys coming up in weights. You've got Colin Puritan. And then, so it's like, so Deggan, then Thompson, and then Puritan or Zach Earl. It's going to be tough, but you know what? Going into each one of those matches, you're going to ask me who I think is going to win them. I'm going to say Sammy Sasso, so I'm sticking with him.
This weight is extremely difficult. You know, Thompson has, I believe, 2 or 3 wins over Deggan and had previously beaten Puritan, but then lost to him in the duel.
I think he had majored him.
Yeah, it was either 7-point decision or a major. It was good. So, you know, with him, the talent's there, but you know, can he put the tournament together? Sasso is my preseason pick to win. We haven't really even mentioned Brayton Lee yet, who had a nail biter with Russell Rolfing at the very start of the year. And then Brock Zackrell, I remember I called the match last year where Zackrell got hurt.
Yeah.
And then was out for the year. So I'm gonna go with Zackrell.
Wow.
I'm gonna say, you know, Clarion Rights is floating under the radar, right? We give a lot of love to the Big 10, the Big 12. I'm gonna go Zackrell over. Screw it. I'm just gonna go Zackrell over Yaya in the finals.
Wow.
I'm gonna say his bracket gets completely busted up.
That is not crazy.
If
well, actually,
any bracket
I
could get
think
busted up, it's this one.
I'll say Yaya making the finals would not surprise me at all.
Look at his run through juniors this year.
I think I would be more surprised if. Wait, well those guys could be on the same side. But I guess it's totally fake conversation.
It could be. We have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea what the seed's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not as convinced. I think Zackrell is a longer shot than Yaya in my mind.
And I mean, look again. I picked Sasso at the start of the year. I still think he's probably the most talented guy. And I thought, you know, when he was a junior in high school, I was like, he's just never going to have an undefeated season in college, but he's always going to be right there at the end of the year. And I think this is going to be another example of it. This, for all these guys, this is CKLV is as close of an approximation to NCAAs as you're going to get this year.
Yeah.
Managing your weight for 2 days, having to go through a whole slew of guys, putting a tournament together, and figuring out how to put yourself back together if you lose a match on the front side. And so I think for guys like Sasso and Brayton Lee who are young, and, you know, a guy like Griffin Perriott who's coming down in weight, it's going to be, you know, can you manage your weight? And, you know, for the young guys, like, how are you going to deal with adversity? Which, to me, leads me to believe those guys may drop a match.
Okay.
I will go. Man, I've always really struggled to pick against Sammy Sasso, so I'm going to take Sammy Sasso over Griffin Perriott in the finals.
Go off, Ken.
Griffin had a really good Vegas last year and is wrestling really well this year with the win over Zach Earl. So, yeah.
All right. That's 149, I think. I think we can say that's 149. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be a wild one. 157 is the next weight. Hayden Hiley, Ryan Deakin, David Carr, Kendall Coleman, a.k.a. KC Stampede. Will Luan, BC LaPrade, Justin Thomas, Justin McCoy, Ja'Cory Teamer, Peyton Robb, Colton Yapujian, Carson Brolsma. Okay. Really good weight. The top is where the heat lies. Hayden Hiley, Ryan Deakin, David Carr, and Kendall Coleman. I'll throw them in there. That is an amazing. To me, it's the top 3 though: Deacon, Carr, and Hidley. So we're gonna have a Deacon Carr semi. We do believe. How do we see that one going?
Ooh, man. Deacon's size and ranginess makes me think he can slow down Carr a bit, because I don't think he's gonna be able to match him speed and athleticism. And
I think Deacon's pretty dang athletic. I think he's one of the more athletic 57s. I think he's pretty quick.
And he won this weight last year, and we've seen him.
This is
when
when we were
able
like
to put together a tournament, right? We saw him win CKLV last year. We saw him win U.S. Open last year, so we know he can put together tournaments.
last year after Vegas, we were like, this dude can go with Nolf.
Yep.
That was like what we was like universally said. Like this is gonna be a really interesting thing for Nolf. We're like maybe we won't pick against it, but and then he just kind of it was
right
up and down the rest of the way.
I lean Deacon. I don't know.
This is a tough one.
I don't know if this is necessarily the year for Carr, and I also think when he goes up to 65 is when he's really going to blossom. So I'm going to go with Deacon, knowing fully well that Carr could just win this bracket. So I'm going to say Deacon 4-3 in the semi.
4-3. Wow. I love when we get the scores.
Yeah. Can we get a full match breakdown?
Yeah.
No,
like,
I haven't watched
period
enough
by
Carr.
period?
I haven't watched enough Carr this year.
Okay. Deacon seems to always start out the year like really well.
Yeah.
3 bonus point wins so far this season. I for some reason think Deacon gives Carr trouble.
I do too.
And so I'm going to take Deacon. If Carr had maybe been on Hidley's side, maybe I kind of think he matches up better with Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Your own son.
Uh,
That's unbelievable.
But since this is likely the way the bracket will play out, I'll take Deacon to make the finals against Hidley.
I think that's the final too. I also I don't know if I think the better matchup for Carr is really. I think Hayden is a more reluctant leg attacker. I don't know if that helps or hurts David more. I think David will have a harder time getting to Hayden though.
I think it helps. I think it would help David because I think when there's that few opportunities, the guy who creates more of them is more likely to win. Whereas I think Deacon can and will go shot for shot with Carr.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. Okay.
Hey, one thing to keep in mind is that there's 2 future 4-time undefeated NCAA champs.
Oh, yeah.
In this bracket.
Who's that?
We got David Carr and Kendall Coleman right now. Are both undefeated, and we're basically pegging them both for being 4-time champs. So
All right.
it's gonna be interesting. They might have to share the top of the podium. I don't know how they're gonna work that out.
That'll be interesting. Okay.
I'm very happy that people will get a good look at Kendall Coleman this weekend. He's been a guy who has been a little bit of a breakout star for us this year, and he's shown a lot of the potential that we saw from him when he was making Ironman finals in high school. Both of the young guys, Carr and Coleman, I don't know. I think if you flipped them, I could see it going the other way. But Coleman, I don't like the matchup against Hidley, and Carr, I don't like the matchup against Deacon.
How crazy is it?
But I think that's going to be an absolute war, Coleman-Hidley final, or semifinal, excuse me.
How crazy is it that Ja'Cory Teamer is in a bracket and we're not talking about him being like a title contender?
I can't unsee that Justin McCoy match.
No, I know. I'm just saying,
I know.
like his
Perception.
yeah, and everything he was in high school, like he was always right there at the top, and he's a wild card. I could see him
And to that
beating
point,
people.
He and Carr have wrestled, right?
I don't know about Carr. I know he wrestled Coleman last year. I went back and watched it before they were supposed to meet at Journeyman, and it was in freestyle, but what I saw from their match at the Open in juniors was that Ja'Cory was just a step faster, a step ahead of everything that Coleman was trying to do.
So Ja'Cory has teched David Carr in freestyle before.
Yeah, I think they split. I think they have 2 matches in freestyle, right?
Yeah,
One in Vegas, one at the trials.
Listen, you're not going to convince
This one
me.
is in Vegas, and Ja'Cory got a trap arm and went to work.
And then I think Carr beat him the next time they wrestled.
Yeah. So, man, yeah, he's a factor here. I just am not. The idea of you have to navigate a lot of really tough guys. You're gonna hit. I mean, he could hit a Justin McCoy again in the pre-quarter.
Could he go? I could see him making the semis and doing a semi-slide, or losing early and then making a deep run to third. But I don't know that I could see him getting all 5 in a row on the front side.
Card did avenge that loss at Trials.
8-1.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm picking Hayden over Deacon, Lame and Chalk, and I'm sorry, but
Mug Dog.
yeah, Mug Dog.
Mug Dog Millionaire.
And then you got, I don't know, I guess that's the main ones. Luan could maybe be interesting. Peyton Robb hasn't wrestled a whole bunch of guys yet, but he's pinning and teching people, so so that's good for Nebraska's team score.
He's a beat a rank guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then your boy Yapushin is also in this bracket.
Yeah, he kind of let me down against Elijah Cleary, even though he won. I was like, all right.
I'd like to watch Peyton Robb and Ja'Cory Teamer wrestle.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Someone is getting pinned.
Someone is getting pin slayed. All right, let's
Also,
see if
the
we
guy
can arrange that.
who beat Team, just for what it's worth, the guy who beat Team McCoy is also in this bracket.
Right. Okie doke. That's 57. That to me is a super exciting weight. Go.
Sorry, who is Ohio State sending? Did they announce that?
I'm sure
They're sending Maddox.
They're sending Maddox.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they put their lineup out. They're sending Maddox.
Interesting. Figured top game, maybe. There's a reason for that. Okay, 65. Isaiah White, Josh Shields, Ethan Smith, David McFadden, Andrew Fogarty, Austin Matthews, Philly Cheese, a.k.a. Philip Canigliaro, and Thomas Bullard are the 65s of note, and that's an approximate ranking/seeding projection by us. And to me, I like David McFadden to come out here and win a tournament he's won before, and against what I would say not as good a field. So I think he's going to do it. I think the Smith loss, if you watch that match, the odds of McFadden giving up 2 penalty points and losing that way again.
That one.
That
was BS.
I know. I was like, gosh. The one with the scissors, I'm like, yeah. I mean, you can't do that. But I don't know. He's not going to do that again. I just don't see that happening again.
You can't replicate that.
No.
So you have the previous 2 champs. White won last year. McFadden won in 17.
Over Wick, pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
Pencil.
And then you have maybe one of the most consistent guys in the country in Josh Shields there.
Very consistent.
I tend to agree. I like McFadden, especially because I feel like McFadden can produce points in bunches and in flurries, and Isaiah doesn't always do that. So obviously Isaiah can control basically literally every match he's in the pace.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning McFadden.
Wow, I didn't expect us all to pick McFadden because that's who I'm picking too. He, as you said, has a lot of offense and he can scramble really well. He out-scrambled Evan Wick. He was up like 6 to 1 when he pinned him. He took him down. He got an escape. He took him down again, put him on his back, pinned him. So this is McFadden's ideal weight. He just happened to have to get bumped up last year because the national champ was at his weight.
Yeah.
On his team.
Mm-hmm. Found that out.
And, I watched a lot of that interview we ran with him last night, and he talks about being overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally said it pisses him off.
Yeah.
So I really like this motivated McFadden at his ideal weight.
I love it, too.
And to that point, I remember, I forget if it was an article or if it was just a conversation I had with you guys, but I was like, man, with Mackay doing his Olympic red shirt, I thought Virginia Tech was maybe going to be, I don't know, a little down. But then I was like, well, I don't know why I think that, because they got McFadden coming down. They've got all these young guys coming in, and they haven't really been down.
No.
So maybe that was bad read on my part, and pissed off McFadden, I'm loving.
I do think it's going to be harder for them to have a high NCAA finish, but they're going to be a really good dual team.
Sure, not like a trophy
against
contender necessarily, but...
Yeah, I mean, but compared to what they've been in the last few years, they are going to be. I mean, they've been a top 10 team. How many? I mean, so many years.
They were a top 10 team like 5 of 6 years with Dresser.
Yeah.
And then one year they were like 11th. Mm-hmm. That they weren't a top 10 team.
So they've been right in the mix. But they're gonna be a very good team this year, and I think McFadden is. I think he's in the mix to win a title this year. He's beaten Marinelli. I just like McFadden's mentality. That's why I've always liked him as a wrestler. He's a fun guy to watch. He has a lot of ways to win, and he's got that grit. And he's beaten a lot of good dudes.
Yeah, I like obviously, Smith has the win, so he could maybe bust up the bracket a little bit. I'm happy Phil Canigliaro is healthy. He was he kind of got hurt his senior year, and now taking a starting spot and up to number 14. He's looking good. And then Emil Sondland, another guy who impressed me in high school when I got to watch him at Ironman. So a couple guys down there who could maybe make a run, upset some people, but I think it's going to be between the three at the top. And then just going to that UNI duel, I love watching Isaiah White and Chad Red interact. They're super tight. They love bringing the energy to Nebraska. I don't know. They seem to help keep each other, calm and ready to roll before their matches. So I don't know. It's really fun to watch, and I'm excited to see them in Vegas. And I hope we find them just having a ball together.
Having a ball, a gala, if you will.
Yeah, they're in Vegas.
Why not have a gala? So we're all taking McFadden. McFadden, which means we think he'll beat White in the semi, and then beat the Shields Smith-ish winner. So he'll have to beat probably the two best guys to be the winner. But we feel good about that. McFadden over Shields is my prediction. And we move to 174 pounds. Bryce Steert? Steert. I've been saying Steert my whole life, and then I just suddenly second-guessed myself.
Yeah, that was...
I don't know why. In a moment of weakness.
I was wondering if you had some information we didn't have about the pronunciation.
It just happened. Mikey Labriola, Dylan Leidy, Anthony Valencia, Devin Skaska. That's a spicy top 6. Hastings, Womack, Romero, Ant-Man, Anthony Mantanona, Jackson Hemauer, Daniel Bullard, Kimball Bastion. So we had Steyer Labriola just 2 weeks ago. Steyer the winner there. Leidy, I think, is a dark horse. Valencia, we always know. Skatska's super tough. It's tough for me. I don't have great enough feelings about any of these guys to go against what we just saw happen, which is Steyer over Labriola.
Yeah. The Steyer match, although it was very low scoring, and Steyer won on a locked hands call from Labriola.
Very sustainable.
But Steyer was in on shots a bunch of times and was frequently mat returning Labriola. So I feel as though he can either turn one of those shots into points or possibly get riding time, or maybe win tiebreakers if he has to. So that was kind of my takeaway from that. Dylan Leidy is not really ever fun to pick against when the field kind of composition looks like this. And then Anthony Valencia blew the doors off Mark Hall in a double and then proceeded to get majored. Let me finish.
Yeah, I know.
Then proceeded to get majored. So if he can sustain that for 7 minutes, then he can win the damn bracket.
Well, right. And then Skatska, I think, is someone we really like. I mean, was it him and Leidy that had the best match of Big Tens or NCAAs?
Yes,
it was just
that sounds right.
That match was nuts. So here's hoping we get that match again. I'm taking Steyer over Labriola for no reason other than I saw it happen.
Labriola and Leidy have had some crazy matches.
That's right. That was a sick match,
I think it might have been a blood round. I think that was a blood round match last year. They did hit NCAAs. Pretty sure it was blood round 4-3 win for Labriola. Steyer also has a major over Anthony Valencia. He's just so solid defensively.
Yeah.
I'll take Steyer over Leidy in the finals.
Ooh, so Leidy over Labriola.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's worth pointing out that there's 4 All-Americans in this bracket, which is the second most for the registered guys after 141. So it sneaks up on you how deep it is. Brandon Womack is All-American, and then you have Skatska, Labriola, and Steyer all on the podium last year. And then, as you guys mentioned, there's going to be a lot of rematches. A lot of guys saw each other at Journeyman earlier this year. Leidy beat Valencia. Mantanona lost to Valencia, and then Steyer and Labriola.
We can call him Antonona.
Ant Mantanona?
Let's go hybrid name. I want him to ball out and be a thing.
And then of course he's the wild card. You don't know what you're gonna get. Can pin you.
Yeah, he's
very quickly.
He's just double leg you and hit him
against
half
Hayden.
and
Trent. Sorry.
Yeah, him and Valencia were basically both standing in front of each other, waiting for something to happen. It was a very disappointing match. Everybody at Journeyman gathered around to watch that one, and then they were both waiting to hit some weird counter or get into upper body stuff, and then it ended up being I don't know, 4-3 or
Yeah, that match was
3-2.
really disappointing.
Yeah.
I think the Steyert-Skatska semi-winner takes it. I'm leaning Steyert just because of the Skatska loss to Dean Sherry. And then I'm taking Steyert over Leidy in the finals.
Okay. Wow, a lot of Lighty love. I'm not mad at it. 184. Okay, this one's crazy, guys. It starts with pound for pound number 1, Zahid Valencia, Trent Hidley, Lou Dupre, Ben Darmstadt, Taylor Lujan, Sammy Colbert, Taylor Vince, Hunter Bolin, Jelani Embry, Max Lyon, Alan Cloutier, and Tate Samuelson. So kind of drop-offy, but 8 of the top 10 and the entire top 5 will be there.
When was the last time we've had the entire top 5 at
Anywhere.
tournament?
Yeah, I don't really have a
Likely
record.
NCAAs.
Likely
I would
NCAAs.
guess, but even in some years that hasn't happened. You know. So to me, this is Zahid next topic. Even though Taylor Vins lives in breeze among us, and he will be in Las Vegas, I will say that won't happen again.
It's Zahid next topic for the champ, but who are you picking
This
for
is
him
where,
to beat in the finals?
This is where it gets zany because we could have a Hidley Vins quarter, we could have a Colbert Dupre quarter, a Darmstadt Lujan quarter. To me, Lujan's looked like, I think result-wise, maybe the second best guy in the country. But he will hit Zahid, who took him down 7 times in the Midlands Finals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? So the guys who could maybe go on a run on the bottom side,
Will hit Zahid.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, bottom side.
Bolin. I feel like Bolin could have made a run to the finals if he was on bottom side, but that'll theoretically be Zahid's quarter. And then I'm taking Lujan over Darmstadt in that quarter. And like Christian said, Lujan 2-0 in terms of taking Zahid down first, but then has given up, I believe, 10 takedowns the rest of the way in their matches.
Not helpful. So
But I could see Lujan getting third, the way he's wrestling.
Right. I could see that too. I mean, Darmstadt Lujan, that is bananas. That's going to enter the Degen Sasso zone in terms of calamity.
Over under 17 points there.
Yeah. If it gets out of the first period.
Yeah. Bottom side.
Bottom side. So it's Hidley, Dupre, which we saw. Those two are as close as you can possibly fathom.
But like you said, that Hidley Vens. Now, which Vens do we see? Do we see the Vens we got against Zahid, or do we see the Vens we saw against Lujan?
I don't like that matchup as well for Trent.
Me either.
As like Trent matches up way better with Dupre than he does Vins, in my opinion. And then I really like Hunter Bolin.
I do too.
He can make some noise here.
I just don't think he can.
Yeah.
If Zahid's like just so limited.
Well, yeah, he's not beating Zahid.
You think he will though?
I don't know that
You won't
Trent will
see it.
put
If he
himself.
does, I definitely thought that.
You definitely thought,
Yeah.
obviously thought that.
I don't know that Trent will put himself in positions necessarily where Vens is strongest, though.
I just think I could see Vince just shooting a bunch and potentially riding him.
That's the wild card for me. Can Vens ride him?
I think he could probably ride him.
But I like
Vince
where
is a real tough guy to peg. He his results are like
He's everywhere.
he's all over the place.
and then you'll have the match where Bonacorsi takes him down 4 or 5 times, then he chest locks him and pins him
Yeah. See,
because Vens has.
Taylor, you make
Different
it
tracks.
tough.
I'm
So-
going to take Khalid Valenzuela over Taylor Vins in the finals.
I kind of want to do that too, but now I feel lame. Maybe. Wow. Should I put it on for Billy Baldwin's Bearcats?
Oh.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Who won the Billy Baldwin Best Bearcat Award last year? It had to be Dupre, right?
Yep, Louis Dupre.
Wow. Congrats to him.
Yeah, following up on.
He's going to win probably 4 straight. He will be the first ever 4-time.
Who was the first winner, Spay?
Garcia, right?
Garcia.
Kyle Garcia.
Yeah,
Frank Garcia.
Garcia.
Yeah.
Frank Garcia. Yeah,
that was an
prestigious
amazing
award.
get.
I mean, it's got a plaque and everything, so it's 100% official.
It's very official.
Have we told
Kyle
the
Bush
Billy
awards the Billy
Baldwin,
Baldwin Bearcat
story on FRL before?
I don't know if we
From
have.
CKLV last year? Spay, take it away.
Yeah, it was my first CKLV, and
He was starstruck.
I was calling matches, and it was the semifinals. And the way they do the semifinals, they have 4 mats in a square, and then they alternate mats. Like they ping pong back and forth.
Anyone that's watched has had to switch the streams every single semi round.
And then CP was you and me calling the semis. We're running back and forth between the different mats. And calling matches for one of the first times. So I'm a little flustered, and then every now and then people come up to you, and when you're wearing Flow gear, and they start asking random questions like, how do I get my account up, or where do I get Flow Arena and stuff. And I'm trying to call the matches, and I'm trying to stay focused, and all of a sudden I hear a tap on my shoulder, or I feel a tap, and I look up, or I don't even kind of look up because in the middle of the match, and some guy goes, "Hey, did you write this article?" And I was like, yeah, something, and I take the headset off, and it's like, "Oh, you said," and I start hearing, all these complaints about, well, you said Binghamton wasn't going to do very good, and look at this, we got like all these scores going on right now, and I see a guy wearing a Binghamton like a
top
Pullover?
Yeah, pullover. And I go, sorry, it's something, and then I realize it's Billy Baldwin, and I go, oh, well, sorry, it's I guess there were some errors there or something. He goes, well, what are we going to do about it? And I go, well, we'll write a follow-up article. He's like, all right, that's what I wanted to hear. And then he just kind of just walks
Well, you
away.
kind of caved, dude. It was just like the pre-seed scores.
Yeah.
There was no errors made.
Right,
You stand
so
up and look Billy Baldwin in his Bearcat eyes and tell him, Billy, I didn't make no mistakes.
Yes. In the middle of the semifinals, I should have said, excuse me, guys, I got to take a timeout. Throw my hanger down. Mr. Baldwin, excuse me, please. I also had called him, I didn't call him Mr., but later on, mea culpa, I did not realize exactly which Baldwin it was, so I didn't want to call him Billy. This was early on, and now, of course, we're all familiar with his work. He was great in Sliver, one of my all-time favorite 90s dramas. But yeah, I agree. It was just based on pre-seed, so all we did was
Just pre-seed.
It was
pre-seeds.
hilarious because I saw it happen. Like, I saw Spade talking to him. And so I was like, dude, are you and, like, Billy Baldwin best friends now? He's like, that's who that was? Like, he had
Well,
no
I
idea.
said that's the Baldwin it was. I knew it was a Baldwin. Yeah, apparently he went up to one of the producers, Travis, and was like, where's this Andrew Spade character? And Travis is like, oh, he's over there, like calling a match, just pointed at me, and so he just walked right over right in the middle of the action and was like, hey,
Man.
what's up with this article, dude?
Hey, I hope he's there.
Yeah.
I bet he will be.
You should get a picture, dude.
I mean,
Billy, we know Billy's a long-time listener.
It'd be great to come full circle because I feel like now I'd be able to explain everything a lot better and still be a little starstruck.
You wouldn't be so
Backdraft.
starstruck.
Yeah, I mean mostly because of the movies, but
Wasn't he in Backdraft?
I was about to say Backdraft.
That's the
is
big
another,
one.
Another classic that kind of really.
My
kinda
mother
pumped it
loves Backdraft. Thought that was a great movie. Firefighters. Wow, so brave. So that's 84.
in. The bravest, some would say.
So I've got Dupre falling to Zahid.
Yeah,
in a very close major decision.
that's what I got. The Hidley Dupre match was very strange because I thought it was going to come down to rideouts, and it would end up being Hidley getting it, and it was in Binghamton.
The Bing.
But I'm going to go Dupre this time. However, he needs to be a little more offensive, both against Hidley and in general.
Yeah.
So I do have some concerns about it. Dupre had a good CKLV last year. I'm going to go with Louie.
Oh.
And Zahid continues his Hodge assault, especially now with Seth Gross losing.
So Nomad's got Dupre over Zahid. 197. Colin Moore, maybe Jacob Holshag, probably not. Not Nick Reenan. We should just list all the people not coming. Not Jacob Warner. Not okay. Eric Schultz, J.I.L.O., Thomas Lane, Jake Woodley, Tanner Orndorff, Tanner Sloan, Christian Brunner, Cordell Norfleet, shout out. Lucas Davison, another kind of shout out. I like that, man. I like these high seeds to make big runs here. I mean, first of all, Colin Moore's going to win this bracket. I don't see any other way around it. Although I think Eric Schultz is the toughest matchup, and that will be a semi, which that is notable. Eric Schultz likes to give really good wrestlers tough matches. Now, how do we see the rest of this
That'll be
bracket
final.
playing?
More Schultz?
Oh yeah, because no Holshag, no Reenan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. Just kidding.
That we are 100% destined for another More Schultz final,
Okay.
and it will all be
You should look at the previews, dude.
yeah
Well, I'm looking. I'm pulling from pre-previews.
outdated.
Yeah.
And we'll all once again be surprised when it's close because we're all like, Well, Colin Moore's amazing. Well, Eric Schultz is also really good, and to your point,
All they
likes
do
to
is
give-
wrestle close matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like their favorite thing to do.
And then you got Tanner Sloan, who had the loss to
Man,
Orndorff.
that didn't look
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Tanner versus Tanner crime there.
but is
I think the
tremendously good
Tanner
on
thing
top.
messed him up.
Yeah. How many times
Possibly.
are you going to come up with
I thought he
It was
another
like the
Tanner?
Spider-Man meme where they're just like looking and pointing at
They
each
just
other.
pointed at each
Yeah.
other, and when
Yes.
he pointed, he shot.
Yeah.
And that was messed up.
That
Because
wasn't
he
very
wasn't
fair.
ready.
You never
He's
see the other part of that
He's like,
Spider-Man
wait, I
thing."
thought we were doing the Spider-Man meme. I didn't think we were wrestling yet, and then he took him down. So
didn't
that
even
might
know
throw-
you could do that.
But I think Norfleet and Davison are two guys that could really make some noise. Brunner is someone we've seen have really nice results, and Sloan. Those are the 9, 10, 11, 12, or actually it'll be like the 7, 8, 9, 10 guys potentially seated here. I really like all of them. And Davison is someone that people have been clamoring for them to be in the rankings. Well, here you go. This is it, Indiana people or whatever.
Don't mess it up.
We like Lucas Davison as much as the next guy. All we need him to do here, I promise you, if he wins CKLV, we will rank him.
Yeah,
He's also already ranked.
He's 25th.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He snuck in because
An obligatory 25th.
Right. Yeah, exactly what you said. Everybody likes Davison. Seen him win Fargo and stuff like that. I'm ready to move him up the rankings. So smash up some CKLV brackets, and you shall rocket up the rankings.
This is tough for me because I really like Norfleet a lot too. So I don't know who's gonna make the final. I'm gonna say it's a Moore Schultz final and be super lame. How about it? But look for Norfleet and Davison to inflict some damage.
Yeah, the final is pre-written. It is set in stone. However, the Norfleet, Davison, Bruner also could mess up this
That's
bracket.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Those are the guys I'm looking at for backside in like the early rounds to see how they're doing.
Oh my god.
Just look at him. I'm also gonna be lame and pick more Schultz
Wow.
because I need more of it.
That was great.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm the worst.
Heavyweight. We
Put
got
another on the
Tate
board.
Orndorff, Tanner Hall, another Tanner, Mason Paris, Chase Singletary. I think, right? Although I kind of want Gary Traub in all matches now.
Gary
People's
Allen Rivera.
champ.
Garyano Rivera, Christian Lance.
Forgot about that.
That's the best. Brian Andrews, Gannon Gremmel, Carter Isley.
Yeah, Chase is confirmed. Singletary.
Okay, cool. I've got.
Boo.
Don't boo Chase Singletary.
No, I just want Gary.
Why can't
It
they?
has nothing to do with Chase.
Gary Traub, if there's a reason to have double entry in a tournament,
Yeah,
it's
that's
Gary,
all-
The
Yeah.
Gary clause.
It has
Time to
nothing
bend
to
the
do with
rules.
Chase. I just want Gary.
It has everything to do with Gary. Maybe he'll come and be a part of it.
Okay.
The festivities.
They should tag team like Gary Traub wrestles period 3 or something. Chase is
Dude,
in.
you do not want.
Well, that would make sense. Garyano Rivera coming in to
Yeah,
close
you
it out.
tag in the
That's what he
closer.
does. All right. I've got Mason Paris winning this whole dang thing. I think he makes a statement like Adam Kuhn in 2013 when he ran through.
Like Jordan
Vegas.
96, 97.
Like Jordan 96. Mason is
Yeah.
literally going to go back to back this.
And
this
then
year.
and this will be a good transition because that's what we're gonna. I'm going
wrestling.
to make the case that Mason Parrish should be ranked above Tanner Hall
Wow.
going into this weekend. He will also be ranked ahead of him going out of this weekend because he is going to win, and he will beat.
Is he going to beat him to do it?
Yep, he'll beat him in the
Okay.
finals because Hall will beat Orndorff in the Idaho-Utah battle.
Won't,
Hall will beat Orndorff?
Won't Paris
you
and
watch
Hall
that
be
match?
on the same side?
Yeah, he's gonna avenge. Although they're gonna be different sides, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So Paris
So
will beat
I'm
Hall
trying
in the
to tell you
semis.
here.
Paris will beat Hall in the semis, and then he'll beat Orndorff in the finals.
But
But if Orndorff and Hall somehow meet, Hall will get revenge.
why do you think that?
I don't know.
I don't know why you think
I
that.
don't,
made
I
a
don't know
take
why.
and now
Either.
you're-
I don't know why.
Okay.
But
Normally you have like really like.
no, I got confused about the seating arrangements, and then I just was like, I'm
That
just gonna
made you
stick
pick
with this.
Hall in the rematch is the seating arrangement.
He got confused.
I got confused about the seating range. However, I will get to why Mason Parrish should be ranked above Tanner Hall whenever we start that, which should hopefully be soon.
Right now,
Okay.
let's get into it. You've got some momentum. We got some flow going.
Skewer Spey. Okay. Andrew Spey has
Spencer Spey.
Andrew
Spencer Spey has this year as the foremost ranker had a pretty consistent opinion that this year's results should factor in very heavily.
I had the controversial opinion that recent results and this year's results should be weighted heavily for this year's ranking.
Highly controversial.
which I agree with.
Okay, great.
And so to that point, let me go through the resume of one Mason Manville Paris.
Pronounce resume.
Yes.
So, Trace wins over Matt Stencil, currently ranked number 7 in the country. A win over Demetrius Big Meech Thomas, currently
Big
ranked
Meech.
number 9 in the country.
Wow. Yep.
And then wins over these following wrestlers with winning records: Max Erie, Ben Golden, Andrew Gunning, Jeremiah Imanode, and Bobby Heald.
Ben Golden, who once did the Division I rankings with me back in the day. Is this a shot at another ranker?
That is correct.
Something we have to consider.
Ben Golden, Green Ellis.
Yes.
So 9 wins, 4 over ranked guys, although 1 is a triple win over a ranked guy. So
He triple dipped him.
2 ranked guys.
Yeah.
The rest of those guys have winning records. Now, they all can't qualify for NCAAs because Heald and Imanode wrestle for the same team. But
That's correct.
have several guys who are on pace to
Black
be
Knights.
NCAA qualifiers.
Yeah.
So that is the resume of Mason Paris.
Great.
And then Mason Paris also qualified for NCAAs last year and went 3-2.
Yeah.
Now-
about that in a second, but go ahead and continue.
Now, Tanner Hall this year has lost to Anthony Cassar, which is fine, ranked above him.
Wow.
Thanks for proving your point.
Lost-
Wow. How am I going to
lost
come
to-
across? A guy loses to the defending champion.
Hold on.
I'd definitely be the first thing I brought up.
Lost to Orndorff, who preseason number 12, and was around number 11 when he got over him at Journeyman.
Yes.
So he should have dropped for that. And then the rest of his wins this year, he only has 1 win over another ranked guy. That's Quinn Miller of Virginia, who's not currently ranked. He's beaten
Give it time.
David Eli, who has a losing record, Josiah Jones, who has a losing record, Mitchell Trigg, who has a losing record, and then a couple non-D1 guys.
Okay.
And then
All right. What else you got?
did not wrestle a match
Yes.
in January or February of last year. So
Right.
the data for last year at this point is basically immaterial to me.
Okay. So it all
And
comes-
also here's the guys that he beat to win Midlands. Here's the and I know exactly what you're gonna say. It's the Conan Jennings win. He beat Hino and Jennings. But as far as I'm concerned, December of last year matters about this much right now.
This- how much? Like that
If
much?
you're listening
that
at home,
much.
it wasn't even an inch between his index finger and his
Yeah.
thumb.
Teeny tiny amount. All
much
right.
he thinks
Well-
Midlands matters.
Nomad, you make a good point. I think it all hinges on whether or not Orndorff goes above Hall for his win or Hall gets dropped for his loss to Orndorff. I went with rewarding Orndorff because I'm still giving Hall
Why not both?
some anchor. What's that?
Why not both? Like your favorite gift that you like to put out on Twitter.
You can reward both.
Yeah. You can
Well, you
move
can
him
move them
above
down.
and drop Hall.
Right.
I-
Orndorff went from 11 to 3, and Hall went from 4 to 5. Just
Yeah.
that was what actually happened.
So that's what happened. So I chose to give Hall a little bit of cushion, a little bit of anchor for placing third already in his career and having plenty of big wins. And Mason Paris, I didn't feel like they had to drop below Mason, that he should be ranked that high. By the way, I picked Mason Paris to win CKLV. The heavyweight, upperweight preview is out right now. It'll be published on the front page shortly.
Yeah, right.
But instead, I went back and looked at Mason Paris, and if he had a stronger anchor, if he had a stronger resume of his last career, then I would have said yes, bring both of those guys down, except Orndorff was pretty solid, so I wanted to reward that big win, and I said Hall has done enough in his career and wrestled last year while
You give him
redshirting
credit for a third place finish
2017.
before I worked for Flo.
before both of us. Yeah. All right, so he gets a little bit there, but he's now on a short leash. And you brought up last year's results too for Mason Paris. And again, love Mason. I think he wins, and I think he gets a much higher. He's ranked ahead of all these guys. He's going to be third or fourth at the end of this weekend. But last year at Big Tens, he lost to Conan Jennings and David Jensen. David Jensen is probably not the starter anymore, Christian Lance, although both are very solid. And then in the NCAAs, he lost to Sam Stahl and then Matt Stencil. Now, Stencil, as you mentioned, thrice avenged in 1 month. I don't think we've ever seen anything close to that before. You lose to a guy at NCAAs and then you beat him 3 times in the first month of the next season. That's got to be pretty satisfying. And then Meech Thomas, but none of those guys are ranked ahead. So it's Orndorff who gets the credit for the Hall victory, who gets the cushion. And then Mason Paris, this year, folk style results, hasn't done enough to pass those guys yet. And based on last year's results, hasn't done enough to get the benefit of the doubt. So I like Mason Paris. I like where you're coming from, and I think it rests on Orndorff. You move down, or Hall. You move down below Orndorff instead of moving Orndorff above Hall. I just didn't see that way. It was maybe a 50-50, whatever, but I gave Hall a little extra
I think
credit.
it was 50-50 coming into the year, and then after the Orndorff loss, okay, cut. He's not that
Dump
guy.
it.
You're ready to... all right.
Tanner should have a shorter leash. He's been out of the mix. He DNP'd last time at NCAAs. I think there is a time where you drop him. If it was close between those two before, you lose to number 11, who was number 11 for a reason because of his resume, and has since lost other matches. I think it's very.
But you don't give... So, but if Tanner had not wrestled at all last year, but instead he does wrestle at Midlands and he does beat Jennings, Haino, and Stencil, I think that is enough to say he doesn't get the shortest of leashes. He gets a shorter leash, but I still give him credit for those wins.
All right, we skewered.
Stevenson, sudden victory. That doesn't matter, but I mean, he was a legit dude last year. He hadn't completely fallen off.
All I'm saying is with the Jacory thing, we talked about Midlands, and I backed you up, and I said it matters
your back.
less now.
That was
Now
that
you
Midlands
did
talk
it
we
before.
talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, I'm trying to make the same point. Mason Paris had 15 wins in January and February last year. Tanner Hall had 0.
Donut,
so his
man.
leash for last year is very minimal.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Paris should be ahead of Tanner Hall. He's going to be ahead of him after this weekend anyway. Tanner Hall
We agree it's a moot point after this weekend.
is going to beat me up when he sees me because
can't
he
wait for
thinks
the-
he
no.
thinks I don't like him, which is not true.
Wait, who doesn't?
Tanner Hall thinks I don't like him.
Oh, boy.
Well, after this, he definitely won't.
Fair.
Yeah, now he's
Yeah,
really
after
gonna
this
hate
is
you.
broadcast
No,
all
here's
over
what's gonna happen.
Tempe.
You guys aren't even. Yeah, we're gonna have clarity. You sure? What if they split? They could totally split. That could happen.
Oh, and then one more, because I didn't get to do this.
They go
last
1-1.
week.
Yeah, wow.
Why
Wow.
is David Carr ahead of Ryan Deacon?
Why is
He
David?
beat Young, who beat Deacon
Yeah,
twice.
Young has to be ahead of Deacon. He beat him twice at NCAAs, and then you beat Young, and you have no other losses this
And-
year.
You can put Deacon ahead of Young after going 0 for him at NCAAs.
Yeah.
Lost to him twice. No,
I understand that. But
you don't.
David Carr's resume this year and last year does not warrant him being ahead of Ryan Deacon right now in the rankings.
It didn't until he beat Caleb Young, and then it did.
Yeah, that's one of those I see totally where you're coming from, and I wouldn't I don't know. I wouldn't say somebody else's rankings were wrong if they came out that way, but I would say I don't see it. I say you got a reward for wrestling the top guys now, and then move ahead of the guys when they win.
I hear you.
And
I see.
You have to go back and redo your preseason rankings and say that were wrong. And now sometimes that does happen where you go, okay, I gave guys too much credit, or you didn't do enough homework beforehand, and then you make those corrections. But I didn't see that yet. I don't think there was enough.
I'm just saying, Deacon's anchor from last year included wins over Early and Humphreys and NCAAs, Griffin Perriott, John Van Brill, Steve Blyes. This is all in March of last year.
And Deacon
Justin
has a
Ruffin, Eric Barone, Alec Pantaleo. These are all February and March wins last year.
And Deacon
that
actually
anchor is
has
heavier than just the one win over Young, who I understand beat Deacon twice in NCAAs and played 7 Big Tens, but I don't think that win alone should have Carr over Deacon right now.
I'm saying I understand what you're saying. That gives Deacon more cushion and slack now. I mean, Tanner Hall's completely exhausted it. We agree there. Deacon, though, still built up a little bit of cushion based on his past results, so he does have some room to jostle
cushion
around and stay up top.
All right. Next.
Fun
You
skewer.
didn't even skewer him. There was no skewering from you
I don't
there.
want to skewer.
You did the skewering
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, but he normally salivates at the thought of
The
skewering.
Brayman, our friend David Bray wanted to bring up Bridges and Tucker.
That was also in.
Bridges beat Tucker. He should be ranked ahead of him.
That was at the South Florida Wrestling Experience.
Boom,
so
you've been
Yeah.
skewered.
doesn't
but-
count at this point. Also, the Robeson loss.
This year, I was going to say the only reason Bridges isn't lower was going to be my defense is because we don't really know what a Robeson loss means yet, and Robeson's going to redshirt or whatever. So, yeah, that's why.
All right. The next two things we have in the doc are Princeton's weekend from hell and Penn State weekend update.
Well, I figured.
Kyle, you looked like you had a face. Like you just read something.
I have an update on
Yeah,
some
that's
of
what
the APBs we put out
Okay.
Oh, good.
on a couple missing Cowboys.
All right, we need that.
So John Smith met with the media yesterday and said that Joe Smith will not wrestle this weekend against Princeton because of the weight descent rule. Likely that we could see him next Friday against Oklahoma. And then Caden G. Feller's 50-50 whether he'll go this weekend. So
Man.
match time decision, it sounds like.
Well, what's going on there? Well, yeah, his descent. I mean, if he weighed in what they say he weighed in for the Lehigh duel,
I was told 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
for the
That's a
descent.
month.
Yes, and it was less than a month ago.
Bracky learned a lot about calendars.
I did.
He's like,
I
wait,
had
so you're pregnant 9 months? How long is that?
Yeah.
And she had to really break it down for him, but now he knows months really well. Okay, good APB update. That's very important.
But you guys want to know about Princeton's Weekend from Hell?
Let's hear it.
So
Wish we could cue some nice
Well,
metal music.
should we wait to do this tomorrow and at Vegas?
I will not
Because we
be
still
in
have to do
Vegas.
questions from friends. It's a fair point, and you wrote the article. So
I'll do it quickly.
Let's do Princeton from Hell.
So I did the toughest non-conference schedules earlier this season, and of course Princeton was on there. I think they were like 4th or 5th, and a lot of it had to do with this
Weekend
from hell. So on Friday night, they will be in Stillwater, Oklahoma, to take on Oklahoma State in historic Gallagher-Iba Arena, and get Pitch Glory 4. They met 3 times last year. Pitch won all of them, but they were all pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
And Glory was winning in the 5th place match in the 3rd period before Pitch pinned him.
Yes.
So kind of a crazy match there. And then really interesting, Wyatt Sheets and Quincy Monday, their dads won NCAA titles on the same team at Oklahoma State. And they will wrestle in the gym where their dads wrestled. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And then Dakota Gear, Pat Brucky will be awesome. But then the interesting part about this is usually when you see weekends like this, they get both duels at home or they're both duels on the road. This is not one of those.
Classic hybrid.
They will then return right after the duel to Princeton, New Jersey, where number 1 Iowa will probably already be there waiting on them.
Waiting for them.
Yes, waiting on Princeton to return.
About time you showed up.
So the duels are 42 hours apart and 1,300 miles apart.
All right.
So
I hope they got that Novogratz private jet situation going
For real.
for the Tigers.
So and it's probably not going to happen, but if every ranked wrestler were to wrestle, they would have 20 matches because 2 duels. 16 of them would have been against ranked wrestlers. And 10 All-Americans since Spencer Lee's not wrestling.
Yeah.
That's
But
insane.
yeah, just an unreal weekend that you don't see very often, especially in non-conference. You see some of these Big Ten teams have it just because the conference is so good, but a non-conference back-to-back like that is pretty insane.
Yeah, and I think when we were at Princeton for the Final X road trip is when they were like finalizing that because they thought they were going to be on 2 separate weekends, but then Ayers was like, "This is the only weekend Iowa can make it work. Like, we got to back up what we say anytime, any place, anywhere. Like,
And
if that's the only weekend they're available, we got to do it."
That's what's crazy is they're going to make weight Friday in Stillwater, and then Iowa's last competition was the Wisconsin duel they just wrestled. So they have a week to make weight, and Princeton has less than 2 days.
Holy buckets.
Princeton, Oklahoma State, 149, D'Angelo versus Spoo. Could be very good.
Yes.
And then I like the true freshman battle, Pearson versus Whitcraft. And then 84, Stefanik Montalvo could be a little bit of swing. Obviously, Oklahoma State probably favored in general, but Princeton could nab a couple there.
Yeah, and then the Iowa duel, Quincy Monday gave Caleb Young a tough match last year in Carver, and he's noticeably better. Obviously, so is Caleb Young. But then another All-American for D'Angelo with Pat Lugo. And then at 97, Warner Brucky. They wrestled Warner's redshirt year at Midlands. Brucky won 4-2. They didn't wrestle in the duel last year because Warner, I think, was at U23s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's like
that was a real early season.
Yeah.
When he wasn't back yet or something.
And that's a rivalry that goes back to high school.
Oh, yeah, both
That-
Illinois guys.
That used to be Warner's way, and then there's only been one, but Brucky, as you mentioned, got the better of him there. So wow, big weekend for D'Angelo. Obviously, would have liked to have seen Spencer Lee, Pat Glory, put out on Twitter yesterday, or a couple days ago. Was curious to see Pat Glory's improvements on bottom because he not only hung with Pitch, was probably better than Pitch on his feet in their matches, and then was in some scrambles with Spencer. Spencer obviously got the better of him every time, but obviously the big issue was getting turned and pinned.
That does
against
tend
Pitch
to-
and Spencer.
That mitigates a lot of neutral momentum when you get
Right.
turned and pinned.
But if he had been able to only get ridden out or get out, then that would show big improvement on
I
Glory's
said
part,
similar
so.
stuff throughout my career. Had I not been able to get turned and pinned, what might have been? Yeah, no Spencer, presumably, although they didn't say it, but Fort Worth. No, KJ Pilcher's tweet. It wasn't said, but it was just basically like the assumptions that he'll be at Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the duel. Yeah.
But yeah, no Spencer for Glory this time. But I'm sure at some point their paths shall cross again.
Midlands, perhaps. Midlands, perhaps.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I wonder if the Fort Worth guys will be back for Midlands.
It'd be cool to see.
Kind of a quick turnaround.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Be a lot cooler if you. You know what I was thinking? Real quick, Fort Worth aside. What if Dayton Fix was like, what the heck? Why don't I go to Fort Worth? 3-hour drive. Get my mitts on Spencer and Soriano maybe and some other dudes. I don't know if he would. It would be a very Dayton Fix move for him to be like, what the heck? Why not?
Screw it.
I'll just go. Because Jordan Oliver's qualified, but he's going. You can be qualified and go. And you can also block a spot from a qualifier, right?
Yep.
Block a spot.
I think Sammy Henson was the guy that used
Improve a
to
seed.
always go.
Mako, too.
They would go to like the last chance qualifiers and be like, no, last chance, you have to beat me. That's awesome.
Spot block.
I don't know but it is weird. Is this the longest gap in Dayton Fix not competing? Like, since I've been aware that he existed, that guy would hit a major tournament it felt like once every 2 months he would wrestle either internationally or nationally or go to somewhere. He's always at everything.
Wrestle cadets and juniors.
Cadets, juniors. So we've seen him so much. It's weird. We haven't seen him since Worlds, right? Hasn't competed since then, which is probably a great thing, right? For him to just focus on training.
I doubt that would be awesome. I doubt we see him just because I bet he goes to Rome
Oh yeah.
for ranking series.
When in Rome.
When in Rome, wrestle the foreigners that are there.
Currently,
That's the old saying.
all 3 styles are only 24 wrestlers registered for Fort Worth. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Keep an eye out. File the Freedom of Information Act for that one. Okay, let's get to some questions from friends real briefly. I kind of have a hard 9:30 stop. I don't want to, but I just need to.
What, you got a meeting?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I do want to talk about this. Can you explain the rules of the Bo Nickel Gordon Ryan match? Not really, but I just want to say what's happening. Bo Nickel is basically taking on the Sadulayev of jiu-jitsu, Gordon Ryan. If Sadulayev and Pat Downey had a baby and it did jiu-jitsu, it would be Gordon Ryan. Because this guy is like Sadulaev's like the most humble, like soft-spoken, good dude, even though he got suspended, which is a separate thing. But he's like the braggadociousness of Pat Downey, but like always backed up and he just beats everyone. That's who Bo Nickel's going against. I don't know how that's going to go, but the idea, Bo Nickel's so athletic and so good at wrestling that I think he can at least create some interesting flurries, but he is a massive underdog here. The only thing I know about the rules, and I'm not a jiu-jitsu expert, is there's no leg locks, which is basically kind of Gordon's signature move where he like breaks your leg / tears your knee completely, which is good for Bo. Gordon just like matter of factly is like, yes, there will be no leg locks. I will not hurt him. I'm just going to take his back and strangle him because I want him to do well at the Olympics. He's like just matter of fact, not going to hurt him because I want him to have fun at the Olympic trials, but I am just going to take his back and strangle him.
Okay.
That's Gordon. That's actually mild Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
That's just a matter of fact Gordon. Mostly, he's audacious.
He has been living in our Instagram
Comments.
mentions right now and just eviscerating everybody, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, he takes bodies on the jiu-jitsu mat and also in Instagram comments. So that's that.
It'll be late Saturday night. CKLV should be over by the time it goes on. It's called Third Coast Grappling. You can watch it on either FloWrestling or FloGrappling, and both sites will have a little bit of content about it. Obviously, Grappling will have more, but we will have some.
But we will definitely have less. Most interesting match in Penn State versus Lehigh. Any chance we see Berge or Shaq? Well, I think if we see Berge, him versus Humphreys is really interesting. So I'll say that one. And, well, Wood versus Kassar, but not really. Just because he's just so dang good. FRL fact checker, why don't you put a time limit on ranked wrestlers? If you don't compete for a certain amount of time, you're automatically. I don't want to put us in a box. You know what? Sometimes we'll say, I mean, no two scenarios are the same. Gable Steveson and Austin Gomez and, it's just different scenarios. Who knows?
Yeah, when you hear from coaches that say this guy's coming back or, an injury or he's coming down to weight in Austin Gomez's thing, you leave him in because you get whiplash putting him in and out. But if it's just, completely MIA, then yeah, about a month or so and you start taking him out.
Yes.
I like that rule. I think it's a good rule. I think you put an asterisk in there. I understand the thought not to, but I think they're not competing. Take them out. Leave a note about it in the explanations.
Jaden doesn't post a lot on social media, but from the few recent pics, it doesn't look like he's growing his body. At what point can we safely assume 86? Well, here on FRL, we've been safely assuming 86 for a while.
A little bit.
And, I've always said I think he should go 97, but it sounds like he is just not as big as he was or people think he is, and he's going 86 is my prediction right now, assumption, whatever you want to call it, but we do not have that. That's not from his mouth, so it's grain of salt, right? How many questions have to be answered before we're considered friends, or does one answer suffice? No, all our friends. You're all our friends.
If you listen, you're our friend.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not 2.
2.
No, this is my rule. It's wrong. It's not 2.
Yeah, no bad's wrong.
Wrong. Okay. What's your favorite CKLV match of all time? It's a good one.
This is a good one, and you'll get to watch basically all of them today on Bader's Block Party.
Whoa. I will say it's Garrett versus Brewer. That was crazy.
Oh, wow.
That one might not be on there. Backside.
What?
Yeah, backside issues. Couldn't download it.
Okay. Well, at least it was attempted.
Let me just screen record it.
Jeez.
I don't know. Talk to Bader.
Goodness.
Call Bader.
He said he was having issues.
What if we call Bader right now and ask him why he didn't screen record Brewer versus Garrett?
Ooh. Jordan Burroughs, Jordan Lane was awesome.
That was so good.
Just one that you're just like, holy crap, is when Darren Caldwell just balled up Lance Palmer. That was insane. That was like, holy cow.
Steve Russell up there.
When Peters pinned Nato, that was very memorable for me. Mm-hmm. Wasn't like a great match. He was on his. Nato was crushing him, and then just. I just remember that very vividly, and just knowing. I mean, I thought Nato had a shot to win a title. He did win a title that year, and but he was still just a freshman. So yeah, that was crazy. Does Hayden Brackey know Country Roads yet? Ask Rock Desert.
I don't think he knows the words yet, but he has heard it.
Okay.
He has heard it.
That's good. That's what we're basically getting at.
Yep.
Who do you expect to be at 57 kilos for the Open besides Spencer Lee and Suriano? Gilman, I don't think so. Cologne is qualified. Graf is qualified.
Also, I don't think Tyler Graf should try to make 57 kilos. My personal opinion.
Yes, I agree. So
Vito, yes.
Vito, Cruz,
yeah. Spencer, Suriano, Vito, Cruz, probably not Nashon, Nato, Zane Richards,
Pirelli.
I would say those are the main guys.
Cool. Sounds really tough.
Sounds phenomenal.
Yeah. We'll have Yanni there at 65. Of course, that'll be really tough. Okay, one more. Who's the currently double-digit ranked wrestler, not named Sammy Sasso, that you can see making the NCAA finals this year? This is a tough one. Who do we think that could be?
No one at 25.
No way.
Probably, if anyone is going to do it at 33, it would be Lamont. I don't see that happening.
41G is ranked 10th. I will say
9th.
He's ranked 9th.
Crap.
So,
these are old then. What is this? I'm looking at.
I don't know. I would check what's on our site.
Okay.
What about?
Well, it's faster to do it on the sheet.
Real Woods is a dark horse to make it. You mentioned Sasso is outlawed.
He has been banned. Yaya Thomas. I'm saying that name a lot.
Okay, that's a good one.
Oh,
no one at 65.
No one at 57 either. Although Artelona is pretty dang good. I'll kind of say Artelona, but don't hold me to it.
No one at 74.
Yeah, 65 and 74 is no way because the top guys are so good.
Yeah.
partially.
I mean, Bolin's 10 right now. Maybe he could have a huge CKLV and jump up. So
Bolin Bonacorsi.
Bolin's fine.
Yeah, Nino.
Possible. I don't see anyone at 97. And
Heavyweight, could that be one? Jordan Wood's right
Yeah,
10th.
Wood.
Yeah,
Wood.
yeah, that one sticks
it's
out.
possible.
Yeah, if Jordan, I mean, number 2 is Cassiope, number 3 Hilger.
Sure.
Coming into the year, we would probably say, yeah, Wood over those guys. With no Gable, it could be one of those types of dudes. Okay, well, that was the last one. That was the final questions. Any parting thoughts? I'm excited for tomorrow to be Vegas, boys. Anything else?
No, we'll probably talk about the rest of the weekend. Maybe get a little more into Princeton's weekend from hell, Penn State's weekend. We got Pitt, West Virginia tomorrow.
Where's their weekend from?
Huh?
Where's it? So it's Princeton's weekend from hell, Penn State's weekend from
Just I don't know.
Redemption tour.
Oh yeah.
The coaches poll has Penn State 3rd behind Nebraska. Cancel that poll.
Yeah.
Cancel it.
Right.
I've tried to cancel it. It's terrible.
Coaches should not be involved in rankings.
What do they? I mean,
Some coaches have tried to cancel it.
many coaches are like, "Why am I don't have time to do this." And 3rd, Penn State 3rd, behind Arizona State. I mean, it'd be one thing. It would not be wise, but if you put Arizona State ahead of them, it'd be like, okay,
Head to
that's
head,
how-
sure,
Makes
yeah.
sense since they beat them.
But they put it's Nebraska 2nd, Penn State 3rd, Arizona State 4th, which none of that is right. It's all wrong.
That's not how any of this works.
It's not how any of this works. Come on, guys, get it together. Penn State. That to me is like a little anti-Penn State sort of little. All right, let's kick them while they're not that they care, but I don't know why you would do that. Nebraska's not the second best team in the country, and I think we've been talking about how good they are all year long, but I just ain't going
We have
there.
number 3.
What you got, Bracky? You're scrolling. You look like you got
well,
something to say.
This is the first time since 2015 Penn State's having to bounce back from a dual loss. That's stupid.
16 in a row.
That's insane. 2015.
First
I
time
was there
since
for it,
2009 that they
You were there
do
for
not
their
have
last
a winning
loss?
record.
I was
Or-
in Gallagher, Iowa when they lost to Oklahoma State in
Oh.
2015.
That was their last loss?
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That was close.
That's when Bites hurt Kindig
Uh-huh.
and Alton Colica.
Oh my
my
gosh.
gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. That was a tough scene.
T's and P's.
Yeah, okay. Well, Caleb, we're good to go, buddy. Feel free to play us out in the back. You guys probably miss Caleb. I miss him too. We got to get him next week.
Maybe next week let's get him on here again.
He's got big.
He can tell us Bigfoot stories.
He's got a lot of stuff cooking. I can't wait. We really should have him just have a mic in the back and just ready to always insert himself in the show. He's a man with a lot to say. And whether he knows a lot about wrestling, that doesn't matter. You know, he's still our friend. Back on it. Thanks so much for listening to 435 episodes of FloWrestling Radio Live. I know some of you have. And for that, I'm very thankful. We will be back tomorrow at a time, TDB, in Las Vegas. It'll probably be like, I want to say
TDB.
noon Vegas time, so...
I get there
flights
very
for all
early
of us.
Vegas time.
Me
so,
too. I think we have the same
Yeah.
Early,
Flight.
6 something
well, we don't
flight in the morning.
Yeah.
6 a.m. American.
You and I are definitely on the same flight.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun.
Did you check in? Check in?
I tried to check in. They don't have my TSA pre-check in there, so I got to call and get that whole situation rectified. But hey, no one cares about that, probably. But you should get TSA pre-check. There are some people here that don't have TSA pre-check, and I feel like you should
Yeah, I
get it.
don't.
It's definitely worth it.
Vader and Mike don't have it. This is 2 people that should have it.
They literally
By
live on
far.
planes.
Yeah.
Bader has clear though. I think.
He has clear.
Not anymore.
He doesn't.
Well, all right, whatever.
We didn't get
Yeah,
clear.
you just lied.
He's lying. To America.
But now I don't know.
All
I'm
right.
not 100% sure.
See you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.